So next we'll move on to the today's topic, that is the measurement of self-compacting concrete in the fresh state. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so these are some of the tests that you are going to study under the self-compacting concrete. But as I already told, these tests are not yet finalized or not yet standardized yet. Okay, some in other code books like American standards or British standards, these kinds of tests are there. But according to Indian standards, so these tests are not yet finalized. Just like a slump or compaction or VB consistometer, it has a particular code book. But for these following tests, you don't have the particular code book according to Indian standards. Okay, so whatever the procedure that we are studying now, it is all as per the American standards as well as from the British standards. So we have slump flow test and T50 slump flow test. So I will just tell you what is this when I take up the measurements. So first one is slump flow test, and the second one, and along with that T50 slump flow test, which gives the filling ability property. So in order to uh, check the filling ability of the self-compacting concrete, we can able to do this test. Similarly, we have V funnel and V funnel test at 35 minutes. It also gives filling ability property of the self-compacting concrete, as well as it gives the segregation resistance property also. So next is L box test, U box, J ring, fill box. All these gives the passing ability of the self-compacting concrete. Okay, so just like slump gives the stability of the concrete in the normal conventional concrete, in the compaction factor it gives the compactability, whereas in the VB consistometer it gives the mobility as well as the compactability. So none of the test in the normal conventional concrete which measures all the workability property. Okay, we have discussed that. Similarly in SCC also, none of the test which gives all the three properties of SCC. So some test gives the filling ability of SCC, and some test is used to find the passing ability of the SCC, and some test is used to measure the segregation resistance of the SCC. So none of the test gives all the three properties. But here in out of these seven, we are going to study slump flow test, V funnel test, and L box, U box, and J ring. So we are not going to study fill box test and GTM screen stability test. We are going to study only five. Okay. So first one is slump flow test. So as already discussed, some slump flow we have already studied in our normal conventional concrete also. It is almost the same procedure we are adopting here also for SCC. So self-compacting concrete is used to find the filling ability of the self-compacting concrete. So here the in the slump flow test, it is used to assess the horizontal free flow of the self-compacting concrete in the absence of any obstructions. So here there is no obstruction. We are just finding out the horizontal free flow of the self-compacting concrete. So it was first developed in Japan for the assessment of underwater concrete. So now in the other countries these tests have been standardized. So it can be used on site. This just like the slump test, slump flow test can also be used in the site, but the ground should be level. So the essential ground is required. Okay, because the flat ground is required. There should not be any undulation in the ground surface. It should be leveled ground. So it gives good assessing of the filling ability, and this test can be done in the field itself, as I already told. So here in the slump flow test, so it has to pass through without any obstruction, like just we are finding out its ability to the horizontal free flow. Just we are assessing the horizontal free flow of the concrete without any obstruction. But in some case we can able to identify the resistance to segregation also. By seeing the by observing how it flows, uh, we can able to see that how the concrete, is there any segregation property also, we can able to see from this test. It is the most commonly used test, and it gives a good assessment of the filling ability. So the higher the slump flow value, the greater is its ability to fill formwork under its own weight. So higher the slump value, then what that indicates, it has a greater ability to fill the formwork under its own weight. So just we are measuring the horizontal free flow of the concrete without any obstruction. So if the slump value is higher, then what we can able to infer from that value, we can infer that it has a greater ability to fill the formwork under its own weight. But these kind of things will not happily, usually it will not happen in the site, because usually in the site they'll be having some disturbances, okay, with the reinforcement or with the formwork there will be some disturbances in the site. So in the site we don't have any place where the concrete can easily flow, okay. So but what we can able to in the site, what we can able to see from this test is, we can able to see the batch of self compacting concrete, whether the flow is same for all the batches of the concrete, that we can able to test from this slump flow test. So the recommended values for the slump flow value is 650 to 800 mm. So the value, when you measure the diameter of the flow, it should be in the range of 650 to 800 mm. So the equipments is same as like what you have seen in the flow test of normal concrete. So here we have a mold. It is a truncated mold with internal dimension 200 mm at the base and 100 mm at the 100 mm dia at the top, and 300 mm height. So this is a slump cone or the Abraham's cone, okay, and we have a base plate at the bottom. So it is a non-absorbing materials, and it has marked with the two concentric circles, one the diameter of 200 mm and the other concentric circle is of a diameter of 500 mm. I'll show a picture. Then we have a trowel, scoop, ruler and the stopwatch. So this is a normal, this is a apparatus that we use to measure the self compacting concrete flow. We have a base plate, you can see there, and we have a slump cone, and we have two concentric circles which is marked on the base plate. One is of 200 mm dia, and the other one which you can see in the first picture, above picture, is of 500 mm dia, okay. So here what we do is, we place a slump cone at the center of the base plate, okay. So after placing a slump cone at the center of the base plate, so this slump cone is filled with about 6 liters of concrete, that is self-compacting concrete, which is needed to perform the test. Okay, 6 liters of concrete is very much required to measure this test. Okay, so then we are, with the help of a scoop, we are going to fill inside that cone. Okay, so when we are filling, we don't compact it, okay. Usually what we does in the normal concrete, we usually used to compact the concrete in 3 layers, right? So here we don't compact anything, because it is a self compacting concrete. We are taking self compacting concrete, it compacts itself, so no need to compact it. Just take 6 liters of concrete and fill inside the cone of the slump cone, and then after filling at the top layer, we have to neatly strike off the concrete level with the help of a trowel. And then if any surplus concrete which is there surrounding the slump cone, we have to remove it, okay. We have to clean it. Once after cleaning it, then we have to lift the slump cone. Once we lift the slump cone, what will happen, the concrete will flow. Usually what we does in the normal flow test, if you remember, we used to compact it by lifting the slump flow table, okay. If you remember, the hinge was there at one end of the table, we used to lift the table, okay. We used to compact it. So here no need to compact. Once you lift the cone, so the concrete will easily uniformly flow along the horizontal direction. Once it flows in the horizontal direction, we have to measure its diameter in two directions, okay. So you can see in the picture, in the bottom picture is there. So we have to measure the diameter in two directions. So that value, it should be in the range of 650 to 800 mm. It should not be more than that 800 mm, and it should not be less than 650 also. It should be within that range. So this is the slump flow test, okay. So this is regarding slump flow test. We have another test called flow time, that is T50 test. So here T indicates the diameter of the constant concrete circle, okay. So which measures the filling ability of the concrete once again. So you can see in the first picture, you have a two concentric circle, as I already mentioned, 200 and 500. Inner circle is of 200 mm and the outer circle is of 500 mm. So slump cone we are going to fill because the bottom diameter of the slump is 200, so it will easily fit in the inner concentric circle. Okay, so it is the same test, just like a slump flow. Here we are going to pour the concrete inside the slump cone. Okay, once it is done, so neatly trimmed off, just like a normal slump flow test, neatly remove the surplus concrete surrounding and at the top is neatly leveled, and then it is going to lift. Once the concrete slump cone is lifted, how much time the concrete it takes to reach 500 mark, so that is the T50 test. Okay, so once the cone is lifted, how much time the concrete takes to move from 200 and to 500 is what the test is. Okay, once the slump cone is lifted, we have to start the stopwatch, and the time taken for the concrete to reach 500 circle which is there, so that time taken by the concrete which we have to be noted down. Okay, so this time is called as a T50 time. So T indicates the diameter, and 50 usually it is expressed in centimeters, so that is why it is given as 50. Okay, so the time which is taken by the concrete to reach from 200 mark to 500 mark is the T50 test. Okay, so lower the time indicates the greater flowability of the concrete. If the concrete flows within 1 to 2 seconds, okay, or in between 2 to 5 seconds from the 200 mark to 500 mark, then it has a good flowability. So the lower the time indicates, the more flowability of the self-compacting concrete. So here also we have some acceptance criteria. So 3 to 7 seconds is acceptable for civil engineering applications, and 2 to 5 seconds is accepted for housing applications. So this is a time which has to be there for SCC as per the T50 test. So if it is within these ranges, then it is acceptable for the concrete to be used. So this is regarding the slump flow test and the T50 test. I have a small video. After this, it might be having. So acceptability of the flow in case of severe segregation. So as I already told, it gives the passability, filling ability also. Sorry, it has a flowing ability also, and you can able to measure, or you can able to observe is there any segregation in the concrete when at the time of flow. So in case if there is any severe segregation, then what will happen, core segregate will remain at the center, and the cement paste which is there, it will move to the concrete periphery. It will move till the last if it is a severe segregation. If it is a minor segregation, then at the borders of, or at the circumference of the flow, they'll be having only cement. Core segregate will not be there at the periphery of the flow of the periphery at the border of the concrete. Okay, if there is no segregation, then the core segregate will not remain at the center, and the shape of flow will be uniform. If you see the in the third picture, so you can see how the shape of the flow is uniform. Along with the cement mortar, you can see the core segregate also, which is there at all the borders of the flow. So this is where we can say that it has a high resistance to segregation. In the first two pictures, you can see in the first picture, core segregate is there at the center, cement paste it has been flow till the end, and at the second picture, if there is minor segregation, and at the border of the cement paste, they'll be not having any core segregate. Okay.
All samples of the concrete must be obtained and prepared in accordance with BS-EN 12350 Part 1. Place the base plate on a flat and horizontal surface free from external vibration or shock. Check the top surface for horizontality using the spirit level. Clean the table and the mold and dampen immediately prior to testing, but keep them free from excess moisture. Fill the cone in a single operation without any agitation or mechanical compaction, and strike off surplus from the top of the cone. Allow the filled cone to stand for not more than 30 seconds. During this time, remove any spilled concrete from the base plate. Lift the cone vertically in a single movement without interfering with the flow of concrete. If the T
So if you saw the picture from 200 mm mark to 500 mm mark, they measured the time. So it has taken 1 second to reach from 200 mm mark to 500 mm mark. So at the same time you can do T50 test also. At the same time you can do slump flow test also.
T500 time has been requested, start the stopwatch immediately the cone ceases to be in contact with the base plate, and record the time taken for the concrete to first touch the 500mm circle to the nearest 0.1 of a second. Without disturbing the base plate or concrete, measure the largest diameter of the flow spread and record as dm to the nearest 10mm. Then measure the diameter of the flow spread at right angles to dm to the nearest 10mm and record as dr. The slump flow is the calculated mean of dm and dr and is expressed to the nearest 10mm.
So I hope you understood the slump flow test as well as T50 flow test. So if you saw in the diagram, so if you saw in the video, so it is the same procedure what I have explained. So first you can do the T50 test. So by checking the concrete to reach the to reach the concrete from 200 mm mark to 500 mm mark, you can note down the time. So that gives the T50 flow test. So it should be within those ranges as specified. It should be 2 to 5 seconds. So then after taking T50 test, you can measure the flow diameter. Okay, it should be within the range of 650 to 800 mm. So next we'll move on to the next test, that is V funnel test and V funnel at T5 minutes. Okay, so here the V funnel test is used to find the filling ability of the concrete, and the maximum size of the aggregate should be 20 mm. If it is more than 20 mm, you can't able to do this test. And V funnel at T5 minutes is used to find the segregation resistance. So similarly in the slump flow and the flow test at T50 T50 test. So here also we have two types of tests. One is V funnel test and V funnel at T5. V funnel gives the filling ability or the flowability of the concrete, whereas V funnel at T5 minutes so is used to find the segregation resistance. So both can be done at the same apparatus, at a single apparatus. So this test is used to determine primarily the filling ability of the concrete, and also we can able to assess the resistance to segregation. So here the self-compacting concrete sample is poured into a V funnel apparatus and it is allowed to flow by its own weight. Okay, so the empty time of the V funnel is noted. So this test measures the ease of the flow of concrete, and the shorter flow time, that is with the lower the time, it indicates the greater flowability. Okay, once the V funnel test is done, so the same concrete can be refilled once again into a V funnel, and we have to leave for 5 minutes to settle, and once again we have to measure the time after 5 minutes. So that is why it is called as V funnel at T5 minutes. Okay, so after allowing the concrete to settle for 5 minutes, then we have to open the door. I will show a picture of it. Then we can able to measure once again the flow time. So based on that flow time, we can able to measure the segregation. Okay, so this is the apparatus of the V funnel. Okay, uh, about 12 liters of concrete is poured inside the V funnel. You can see a V shape funnel is there. So 12 liters of concrete is poured inside the V funnel without compacting or tamping. We should not compact it because it is a self compacting concrete. Once the concrete reaches till the top surface, we have to pour the concrete inside the funnel, and then the surplus concrete which is there at the top, we have to neatly trimmed off. We have to neatly level it. So you can see bottom there is a door. Okay, so at the bottom of the V funnel there is a door. Okay, so we have, once the concrete is filled inside the V funnel, we have to open the door. Okay, so once the door is open, what will happen, the concrete which is there in the funnel, it will fall into the pan which is there at the bottom. So we can able to measure its flow time. Okay, how much the time it has taken to flow from the V funnel to the at the bottom pan, we can able to record the time which is taken by the concrete to flow down under its gravity. So we have to start the stopwatch when the trap door is open. So we have to start the stopwatch once the door is open. Once the door is open, so we have to check the time taken by the concrete for the complete discharge from the V funnel. Okay. So how we can see that? How we can say that the complete discharge from the funnel is, if we can able to see from the top, if you see if there is no concrete, or if the light passes from above through the funnel, then we can say that there is no concrete inside the V funnel. If the light passes through that funnel, that means there is no concrete inside the funnel. So whole test has to be performed within 5 minutes. So in the slump flow, it measures the horizontal flow of the concrete. So there we can able to observe segregation. Whereas in the V funnel, it is a vertical flow of the concrete. So we are measuring both in the horizontal direction, that is flowable property of SCC in the horizontal direction, and flowability of the SCC in the vertical direction also. Okay. So this is regarding the V funnel test. So what is V funnel at 5 minutes means, once the test V funnel test is done, whatever the concrete which is going to which is fall into the pan, the same concrete, without cleaning the funnel. Okay. So without cleaning the funnel, we have to close the trap door once again, we have to refill the same concrete inside the V funnel. Okay. So after after filling till the top surface, we have to neatly level it, and we have to leave the concrete, or we have to make the concrete to settle it for 5 minutes. Okay. So after 5 minutes, the trap door has to be opened. Once the trap door is opened, it is the same procedure. What is the time taken by the concrete to completely comes out, what is the time taken by the concrete to complete discharge of the from the V funnel. Okay. So once the concrete is allowed to settle for 5 minutes, we have to start the stopwatch when the trap door is open, and record the time taken by the concrete to complete discharge of its flow. It is called as a flow time at T5 minutes. So obviously, for the first test, the time will be less for V funnel. Okay. For the V funnel, the time should be acceptable limit is 8 to 12 seconds. So between 8 to 12 seconds, the concrete has to be completely discharged from the V funnel. Whereas for V funnel at T5 minutes, plus 3 seconds have been allowed, because it has been made to settle for 5 minutes, okay, inside the V funnel. So after 5 minutes, we are going to repeat the same test once again. So plus 3 seconds have been given extra for the acceptable limit, so it should be in between 11 to 15 seconds. So if it is not within these time limits, then we can say that it is segregation resistance, it has some segregation property. So based on these results, we can able to uh, infer the detail, like whether it has any segregation property, or if it is having any issue with the flowability, we can able to infer based on these results. So here you can see the concrete has been prepared. So it is a self compacting concrete. So it has to be filled inside the funnel. So once the trapdoor is open, we have to keep the stopwatch ready. When you see from the top, you should not see any concrete present. So if you see the light from the top, if the concrete passes through, if you see from the light, if you see from the top, if the light passes through that funnel, we have to stop with the test. So if you see the value, it is 9.85 seconds, so it is within the limit. Okay, similar test we have to do for T 5 minutes by allowing the concrete to settle it for 5 minutes, and we have to do the similar procedure. At that time it should be in the range of 11 to 15 seconds. So next is the L box test. Okay, so L box test. So till now we saw slump flow and the V funnel, which gives the filling ability of the concrete, whereas L box test is primarily used to find the passing ability of the self compacting concrete. So this is a widely used test which is suitable for both in the laboratory as well as in the site, because here we can able to determine the passing ability of SCC, and also we can able to find the segregation property also can be detected very, we can able to detect visually also. Okay, so this apparatus consists of a rectangular section box in the shape of L. You can see there is a L shape, okay, with the vertical section as well as with the horizontal section also, and we have a movable gate. Okay, you can see the movable gate there, in the both the pictures you can see the gate is there, and also a reinforcement bar are fitted in the vertical length. So you can see the reinforcement bar is also fitted to the vertical length. Okay, so there in the sum flow test we measure the flowable property without any disturbances. Okay, we didn't have any disturbance there. We made the concrete to easily flow along the horizontal surface. Here we are finding the passing ability of the test by keeping the reinforcement also. Okay, so there is some blocking. So here this test assess the flow of concrete, and to the extent which is subjected to blocking by reinforcement, we have some blocking here. So we have a reinforcement there, so it avoids the, means it breaks the velocity of the self compacting concrete. Okay, so this is a similar condition what will happen in the site also. So when SCC used, there will be reinforcement present. So as you all know, SCC, when we do the test, they'll be having a congestion of the reinforcement. So this test is very ideal because this test is a prototype what will happen in the field. Okay, because we have a reinforcement setup here to the L box. Okay, so it will just a prototype of the what will happen in the site. So the SCC sample is uh, poured into the L box apparatus, and once the L box apparatus is filled, the vertical section of the L box is filled, then the concrete is allowed to flow by removing the plate. So the plate which is there, which is blocking there, so it can be moved. Once the vertical section of the L box is filled with the concrete, we can able to lift that movable gate. So once we lift that movable gate, the concrete which is there in the vertical section, it will we can able to let the concrete to flow into the horizontal section. So once the concrete we made to flow into the horizontal direction, we have a blocking there. What blocking? The blocking is of reinforcement bars. Okay, so this bars will restrict the passing ability of the concrete. Okay, so when the flow has been stopped, the height of the concrete at the end of the horizontal section is expressed as a proportion of that remaining in the vertical section. Whatever the concrete which is left in the horizontal section, which is measured from the top, and similarly whatever the concrete which is left in the vertical section, it is also measured. So that ratio divided, that is a ratio of the concrete remaining in the vertical section, remaining in the horizontal section, divided by the concrete remaining in the vertical section, gives the L box ratio. Okay, so this ratio should be within the range. So the range is 0.8. Okay, so when the ratio of H2 to H1 is larger than 0.8, self compacting concrete has a good passing ability. So the range is 0.8 to 1. So when you take the ratio, it should be in the range of 0.8 to 1. So then we can say it has a good passing ability. So here you same picture what I'm having here. So about 14 liters of concrete is required for doing this test. Okay, so we have to set the apparatus firmly on the ground. Okay, and the sliding gate which is there, movable gate, which can open freely, and we can able to close it freely. There should not be having any problem in the closing and opening of that sliding gate. Once the concrete is filled in the vertical section, then we have to lift the movable gate and allow the concrete to flow into the horizontal direction. So once the concrete is flow into the horizontal direction, there is a two mark which will be noted there. If you want, we can do that flowable test also here. So 200 the concrete reaching 200 and 400 mm mark, we can measure the time of it in the horizontal direction, or we can able to just find the passing ability of the concrete. So once the concrete reaches the horizontal section till the end, we have to measure the height of it. H1 and H2 are measured. H1 is the height remaining in the vertical section, the remaining of the concrete present in the vertical section, and H2 is the height measured remaining in the horizontal section. So when you take the ratio of it, it should be in between 0.8 to 1. So the acceptable limit is 0.8 to 1. If it is less than and more than 1, then it has a problem with the passing ability of the, it has some problem with the passing ability. So this test has to be performed within 5 minutes. So this is apparatus. So you can see the picture what I have explained already, it is the same. We have a L box. Okay, vertical section is filled. After once the vertical section is filled, the vertical movable gate is released. Once the movable gate is released, the concrete which is there in vertical section will flow, will pass through the reinforcement blockage which is there, and it will reaches the horizontal section. Once it reaches the horizontal section, whatever the height of the concrete has been taken, so H2 is measured, and similarly H1 is also measured in the vertical as well as in the horizontal section. If you see the diagram, you will get to know how to measure H1 and H2. So the ratio of that gives the uh, passing ability of the concrete. It should be in the range of 0.8 to 1. So similar picture we have.
খুব সুন্দর হয়েছে। ঠিক আছে? ঠিক আছে না? পারফেক্ট হয়েছে না?
So you can see the vertical section filled is filled with the concrete. When the door is removed, then whatever the concrete in vertical section will flow through the horizontal section, and the height is measured. Okay, height taken by the concrete in the horizontal section, and whatever the concrete remaining in the vertical section, that gives the ratio of H2 by H1.
সিলিন্ডার হবে নাকি? হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ সিলিন্ডার তো হবেই। হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ তোমরা হাইট তো পিছন দিয়ে যাও তাহলে
So we have to measure the height.
হ্যাঁ কুইকলি করো আর বেশি দেরি করবা না। এই তন্ময় সরাও তন্ময় সরাও। পুরোটা কেন নিছো?
So in the similar way, we have to do the test. After passing it, we have to measure H1 and H2. So ratio of H2 by H1 gives the passing ability of the concrete. So next is J-ring. So one more test I will explain today. So next is J-ring test. So J-ring also, it is similar to just like a L box test. So it also measures the passing ability of the self-compacting concrete. So this method is applicable for the laboratory use, especially in comparing the passing ability of the concrete with the blockage width of the reinforcement. Okay, so it is a horizontal passing ability of the concrete. If you saw the previous test, that is a L box test, it is a vertical passing ability of the concrete, whereas J-ring measures the horizontal passing ability of the concrete. So the difference between the slump flow and the J-ring. So if you saw the difference between the slump flow test, whatever the first test that we explained, and with the J-ring is the passing ability of the concrete. There we measured the flowing ability of the concrete in slump flow. Here we are measuring the passing ability of the concrete in the J-ring test. Okay. So here why we are measuring the passing ability? Because we have kept a reinforcement bar there. If you saw the in the picture, okay, so the gearing which is there, the flow spreads indicates the restricted deformability of the SCC. There was no restriction in the slump flow test. It was easily free flowing property. Whereas here, so we are measuring the flow also, just like the slump flow test, but we have a blocking effect of the reinforcement bars. Okay, so there in the slump flow there was no blocking effect. It was there was not having any obstructions there for the flow. But here for the horizontal flow we have a restriction. We have kept a obstruction there, that is a reinforcement bars. So the concrete, when it is flowing, it has to pass through the reinforcement bar which is there at the center of it. Okay, so then we are measuring the flow distance as well as we are measuring the height of it. Okay, so the Jering test measure three parameters. One is the flow spread. Just like a slump flow, it measures the flow spread and flow time. So we can able to measure the flow time and blocking step. So we have a blocking step at the center which consists of reinforcement bars. Okay, so to perform this test, the slump cone is placed at the center of the Jering. So you can see the Jering there. Okay, so you can see the ring there. Okay, in the ring the slump cone is placed exactly at the center of the J ring. We call it as J ring. That so the slump cone is placed at the center and it is filled with the concrete. Okay, without any external compacting actions such as rodding or any other compacting methods. We should not do for the concrete because it is self compacting concrete. Once the concrete filled till the top layer, it has to be neatly trimmed off, and the surplus concrete which has to be removed from the base plate, and then the slump cone is lifted and the concrete is allowed to spread horizontally, okay, through the gaps which is there between the vertical bars. So between the vertical bars there is a gap. When the concrete is made to flow, it has to flow in between those vertical bars. Okay, similar to the slump flow test, here also the diameter of the spread is recorded, and also we are measuring the height. Okay, we are measuring the height, that is at the center. You can see in a picture there at the bottom picture what is the thickness of the concrete which is accumulated at the center of the J ring, and also at the outside of the J ring, what is the height. We are going to measure that, so that difference between the height gives the passing ability of the uh, self compacting concrete. So here, just like the slump flow test, here we require 6 liters of concrete. Once the concrete is filled, as I already told, the cone is lifted and the concrete is made to flow through that J ring. So we have to measure the diameter in two perpendicular directions, just like the slump flow test. And also we are measuring the difference in height between the concrete inside the J ring bars and outside the J ring bars. So what is the height inside the J ring and what is the height outside the J ring with respect to the benchmark there, okay, on top of the J ring. So we are measuring the difference in height. So this difference in height, when we measured in four direction, that gives the blocking step. Okay, so the acceptable range for this J ring is 0 to 10 mm. So 0 to 10 mm is the approximate range. It is acceptable limit. Okay, if it is closer to 0, then it indicates the filling and passing ability both. As already told, it measures the filling ability also and it measures the passing ability also, because filling ability we are measuring the flow of it, and passing ability we are measuring the concrete flow with the which passes through those reinforcement bars. We can able to measure both filling and passing ability. If the height inside the J ring and outside the J ring is same, then the difference in height is 0. So if the range is 0, then we can say it has a good flowable property also, and also if it is having any reinforcement blockage even in the site, then it has a good passing ability also. So the acceptable range for this is 0 to 10 mm. So a small video you can just see. Once the slump cone is lifted, it has to be passed through those J ring. So the J ring consists of a vertical ring with the reinforcement bars. Okay, So we have to measure the height of it, just as I've explained. We have to measure the height inside the J-ring and outside the J-ring in the four directions. So the difference between the height at the center of the J-ring and outside the J-ring gives the value of the passing ability of the J-ring test, as well as we can measure the diameter of the flow. It measures the flowability of the self-compacting concrete also. Okay. So we have one more test remaining. So that is U-box test. Can I do this test and complete this complete measurements of SCC? Can you give me 5 minutes extra? Can I continue? Okay, I'll continue with this test also. Okay. So U-box test, last one remaining U-box test, it also measures the passing ability of the concrete. So just like L-box and J-ring, it also measures the passing ability of the uh, uh, self-compacting concrete. So here this apparatus consists of a vessel that is divided by a middle wall. So it is having a U shape just like a V funnel. So here the shape of the apparatus is U shape. Okay, so you can see the diagram there. So it has a U shape uh, U-shaped box. So this apparatus consists of a U-shaped vessel that is divided by a middle wall. You can see at the middle there is a wall which is separating the two compartments. Okay, so it has a two compartments separating the uh, U. Okay, it has a U box and it has a wall at the center which separates the two compartments. So here and along with that, just like L box test, here also there is a sliding gate. So the gate is there at the center of the wall. It is attached to it. Okay, and also there is a reinforcement which is present there. We have an obstacle there. Okay, so we have a U-shaped box and there is a center wall. Okay, which separates the two compartments, and at the center it is attached with the moving gate, and that moving gate is attached with the obstacle. Okay, obstacle means it may be the reinforcement also. So here the reinforcement with the nominal diameter of 12 mm are installed at the gate. So at the gate the 12 mm bar has been installed at the spacing of 50 mm. At the spacing of 50 mm, so this bar has been fixed at the center to the wall. Okay, so this is a setup of the U-box apparatus. Okay, so here uh, about 20 liters of concrete is taken and it is poured on one side of the U-box. So on the one side of the U-box it is filled completely. About 20 liters is taken and then we have to leave it for 1 minute, and after 1 minute we have to lift the sliding gate. So once the sliding gate is open, what will happen? Whatever the concrete which is there in one compartment, it will flow to the other compartment. By by flowing it, we measure the passing ability as well as the flowing ability of the SCC also, because we, we can able to measure its flow, and at the same time the reinforcement which is there attached to the vertical wall, so we can able to measure its flow by means of measuring the passing ability of the concrete through the reinforcements. Okay, once the concrete has come to rest, we can able to measure the height of both the sides. Okay, once the concrete has come to rest, we can able to measure the height of each compartments. Okay, we can able to measure the height in the compartment 1 where the concrete is filled, and in the other compartment also we can able to measure its height. So the difference between h1 minus h2 gives the height of the filling height of the self-compacting concrete. So this test has to be completed within 5 minutes. So if the concrete flows like water, then both the compartment will have same height. Okay, then h1 minus h2 will be equal to 0. So the acceptable limit is the height, it should not exceed more than 30 mm. When you measure the height between two compartments, so the acceptable value means it should not be more than 30 mm. So if the value is 0, if h1 minus h2 is 0, then it represents the better flowability and passing ability of the self-compacting concrete. It gives the good flowability and passing ability, just like J-ring test that we did. It measures both flowing and passing ability of the self-compacting concrete if both the compartments have the same height, or the acceptable value for that is 30 mm. So one compartment is filled with the concrete. So once is filled, the gate is opened.
टाइम की अरे हा काढा तुम्ही हा येड आहे सब पण केलं
So we have to lift the gate. Once the gate is lifted, the concrete from one compartment, it will flow to the other compartment. Okay, if you see the, so we have to measure the height of both the compartments. Okay, if both the compartments have same height, then it has good flowability and passing ability. If not, then the restrict or the acceptable value is only 30 mm. So the difference between two heights should be 30 mm. So this is last. So the acceptance criteria for SCC. This is a typical ranges for slump flow. It should be minimum is 650 and maximum is 800 mm. For T50 slump flow, that is 2 seconds minimum and maximum 5 seconds. Okay. For J-ring, minimum value if it is 0, then it has good flowability and passing ability of concrete, and maximum is 10 mm. Whereas for V funnel, it should be minimum is 8 seconds to completely discharge the concrete from V funnel. So maximum is 12 seconds. For V funnel at T5 seconds, so plus 3. So minimum is 11 seconds and maximum is 15 seconds. So it should be within that range. V funnel at T5 means we are allowing the concrete to settle it for 5 minutes, and then we are removing the trapdoor, and then we are measuring the discharge of the concrete from the funnel. So that in that test, V funnel at T5, the minimum is 8 and the maximum is plus 3, that is 15 seconds. And L box, H2 by H1, that is the remaining concrete in the horizontal section divided by the remaining concrete in the vertical section. The block, that is the gives the passing ability. The minimum is 0.8 and maximum is 1. Within that range, then we can say that it has a good passing ability of the concrete. Then U box, just now we saw H2 minus H1, the height, if it is minimum is 0, so if the value is 0, then it has good passing ability and flowing ability of the concrete, or the acceptable maximum is 30 mm. Okay, so this is the measurements of slump flow test. Okay, so we have advantages and disadvantages that I will take up in the screen recording. I will share in